says here, Benton Harbor is now under a dictatorship. You would never read that line in the regular newspaper. Never, ever. It goes on to say, Benton Harbor is a community which has been abandoned, kicked, beaten, suffocated. No population should have to endure for decades what the residents of Benton Harbor had to deal with. We now have an emergency financial manager who is a dictator in the city of Benton Harbor. Has issues in order, stripping all the city commission, all the elected officials of their duties, including the mayor. Matter of fact, he kicked the mayor out of his office, his own office. Joseph Harris was not elected. He was appointed. I usually say he was appointed by Whirlpool, the blood-sucking corporation, and former Governor Jennifer Granholm. And this is the reason why we try to get as many newspapers out as possible. Because nowhere in the mainstream will you hear the truth. They do not talk the truth. One of the things that they do, they try to, if they can find a way to demonize you, that's what they do. That's why the People Tribune is so important. This is why my wife, when we get them, we call Sandy often to let them know when the papers are going to be here. And we email her, we talk to her, and say, how soon will the newspaper be here? And usually everywhere I go, I normally take a stack of People Tribune. Matter of fact, I have some People Tribunes in my car right now, because I was thinking maybe some of you people here would not have one. But anyhow, we normally have my wife and myself, we select a couple of days out of the week to distribute the People Tribune. This particular month, which was last month, we didn't do the senior citizen building. And the reason why we didn't have any more newspapers. So I'm usually at the library every Tuesday at 11 o'clock. This young man, and I guess his mother, they walked down to the library just to see me, to find out why did they not get their newspaper for this month. And I just couldn't believe that somebody would walk down all the way, maybe about 6 blocks, to ask for the People Tribune, and it got me excited. So what I like to do, I like to make sure that we distribute the newspaper to everybody just about in the community. 2,200 now, maybe 5,000 next month. But our goal is to get the newspaper out. And I like to hear people come and ask for the newspaper, because that also makes me feel good. That lets me know that they're reading the newspaper. A lot of times they say if you want us not to read something, just put it in the newspaper or a book. But I'm happy today. I'm happy to say that this newspaper has been very important for me. In fact, without this newspaper, I probably wouldn't be here today. I probably would not be here today without this newspaper. You wouldn't be talking to me. You would, yeah, but you wouldn't be talking to me. But it also gave me what I needed, because the article that I wrote was placed in this newspaper, the article that actually sent me to prison. You see, it was placed, I'm not holding you responsible for that. but it was placed there, but it was a good thing. But I'm going to end on this note, because I don't want to take up too much of your time, because I know how valuable time is. But the People Tribune is something we all need to start getting out. We all need to do, if everybody just do a little bit, we will be successful. Can we be successful at this? Can we be successful at this? Are we going to get the newspaper out? Are we going to get the newspaper out? All right.
Okay, next we have Camilo, Luis, and Dave. And we're kind of short on time, so we need to just squeeze it a little bit.
All right, okay. How brave you want me to be? 1 minute?
But good.
1 minute like last time. I'm going to share a story in an article in Tribuno del Pueblo so that we remember the importance of propaganda and how the instrument of propaganda is extremely important in what we do. There was an article written on farm workers in North Carolina. And anyway, it spoke about the mistreatment and abuse and the slave conditions of these workers in the farm, mainly Mexicans and Central Americans. I distributed this paper in DC, and I gave it to one of my contacts. This contact was appalled, said, I would have never found out this story in regular news. This is to emphasize how important our propaganda is. We're currently distributing approximately 2,000 papers in the DC area. And we get most of our help from, broader organizations, like, for instance, Luis here, and this organization help us distribute some of the papers. Currently working also with the day laborers and street corners, and that's how our paper gets out in that area. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we'll hear from Mitch and Al with experience of rally comments.
All right. All right.
Let me begin by first saying that it's really an honor being here today. We use the Rally Comrade as our lifeline. Without it in Detroit, we'd be totally lost, Whenever we get them, our whole crew sits down and we study them and read them together word for word, and it's like an eye-opener for all of us. It's like we read a couple of paragraphs and say, wow, we get it, and after we've got it, we immediately set out to, move in that direction, and it helps us through all our work. So whenever possible, we distribute them to anybody we think will read them, but I don't know where we would be without it. As a matter of fact, I don't know how many times we get on Jen and say, hey man, when we gonna get some rallies, man? We lost, we don't know what to do. That's it. Thank you guys.
I know you can talk.
So I'll try to make it short. Mitch is right. We use it as a basis for study in our committee and other committees. And I think that Mitch gets clarity pretty fast. I do a lot of arguing about what this means. So it's brought us a long way. Particularly, I got back involved in the last couple of years, and it's answered a lot of questions for me. And I've also raised a lot of questions. Don't be afraid to study it. Thank you.
Now we'd like to hear from Sharon with the new Social Networking Committee.
I'm going to make this really, really quick. This is my first time at a convention, and yay. And yes, we are starting a new social networking committee, and I'm the chair, and we have 2 other members right now. Hopefully we'll have more. We have Sarah and we have Dana. So real quick, I want to say 2 things. One of the most important things I want you to get right here, right now, is that Facebook and other social networking tools are not to replace our newspapers. They are to work with and help to enhance our newspapers and our communication and our connection to the revolutionaries out there who are using tools like Facebook. So that is very important. We are not, we're not going to be like that technology where it, stops people from grassroots work. That's not what we're about. And then the other thing is that Facebook has a international as well as a grassroots individual type of gathering, which makes it a perfect tool. And Damon was telling me about a woman that he has known since high school who discovered him again and discovered what his deal was. It was like, oh, you're a revolutionary. And he actually saw on her site where she listed herself under political views as a revolutionary. And he was like, well, I need to connect with her. And so they connect, and she is interested in the league. So that's how what makes Facebook so valuable is the connection it can have with individuals. So thank you.